folks, Dash V here today to talk about the Stern Insider Connected retrofit kit for your existing Spike 2 games. Now, here's what's really cool about this. Recently, Stern released Insider Connected with Rush, Godzilla, and Mandalorian. Pretty cool feature. Now, the only thing I'm not really a fan about is, let's take a look at Mandalorian Premium for a second. Stern made a really curious decision to prominently place Insider Connected on the right-hand side of the apron in place of having maybe angle apron artwork. Now, my own personal taste, opinion aside, I really like Stern Insider Connected. I like the idea of I can register my games. I like the idea of I can download updates now over Wi-Fi because it includes a Wi-Fi adapter. That's pretty cool. I also like being able to track my achievements and in some games actually even being able to save my certain amounts of my progress from game to game. But I'm not really a fan of having these giant, boring, plain advertisements for the Stern Insider Connected features. So I've been using Insider Connected on Mandalorian, really digging it. But again, not digging the cosmetics. So let's take a look at what comes in the package. So inside the box, you get left and right apron replacers. Now, you only need to replace one or the other. But if you're a lefty, Stern's got you covered. That's kind of neat. That said, I don't want to destroy the artwork on the left nor the right side of my apron. I just don't want to do it. You also get a reader. You get a Wi-Fi dongle, or you might have one that has an actual antenna. You can get an Ethernet plate, but you have to purchase that separately. You get a 32 gig data card, and you get a Ethernet cable to plug into the Spike 2 system, as well as, of course, a rather hefty and thick manual. Let's take a look in this manual. Wow, 13 pages on just how to remove the apron from your playfield, remove the artwork from the apron, and then install the reader. We're not going to do that. That's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes if we're careful and everything goes okay. Actually, my preference is going to be to install a mod from GotFrogs Design on Pinside. You can check them out. They have a little Pinside shop there. And they sell, for $50, they sell a mod that allows you to swap out your dollar bill acceptor plate, which most of us in the home settings don't use, for a Insider Connected reader plate. This is custom made by them. So it's powder coated, laser cut. It's going to perfectly match your existing coin door, which is kind of cool. It also has a piece of plexi, which comes with a nice protective film, which I've already pre-removed, so you can see how transparent that is. This film is optional. The reader itself does have a protective film over it, which for home use might be okay. If you're on route though, and you want to do this to your routed game, you might want to go for the GotFrogs plastic because it's about a 1/4 inch thick. This is a really thick, durable plastic that can take a beating. That said, also, if you're on route, you probably actually have a dollar bill acceptor in the machine, so this mod may not be for you. So $50 can sound kind of expensive, but it's a quality metal piece. This isn't plastic. It's going to match the look and finish of your game. It's a quality plastic insert there. And then the data cable that they give you, instead of hooking into node board 8, the problem that you're going to have is you open the coin door, and what do you want to do? You want to lift the playfield. This little 1-foot cable from Stern ain't going to cut it. Your playfield is going to yank at your coin door, right? So you don't want your playfield yanking at your coin door, if you know what I'm saying. So this is a rather lengthy cable. You're going to be able to take this, follow the rest of the harness cable, and you can go all the way up into the back box and plug directly in. No need to go through the node board. So for $50, this mod, while rather simple, reduces your install time down to literally 10 minutes. I'm going to show you right now. installs pretty quick and easy. You're going to want to make sure to have your 1/4 bit handy as well as your 11/30 seconds. So the 1/4 will be used for the QR reader itself. The 11/30 seconds will be used to actually undo the dollar bill acceptor protector space here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this by hand. That was fairly easy. This is going to pop into place. We're first going to remove the protective plastic from it. Look at that. Nice and clear. Carefully put it back on. There we go. Then we're going to put the spacers back on. Now, with the spacers back on, let's just go ahead and add the nuts. Hand tightened is fine, so you may not actually need your 11/30 seconds, as long as these aren't like on there super, super tight. I will hand tighten to make sure that that plate's not going to go anywhere. You want it to be secure, but you don't really need to use a ratchet on it or anything. Now you're going to take your QR reader. It does have a protective film over it. It's transparent enough that you might want to leave it on there, or you may want to take it off, personal preference. Now when you go to install the reader, a couple things to keep in mind. Make sure that the data connector is pointing upward. That'll just make it easier for you to get access to it later if you need to plug in or unplug that cable. And then you also want to make sure that between these areas here that are going to connect into the actual dollar bill acceptor screws that stick out, you want to add these white spacers. That'll make sure that you've got, that'll help ease some of the pressure on the plastic and the metal plating when you go to put this on. So these thread to the bolts first, and you should be able to attach it like this. And now these smaller bolts, these 11/30 seconds, you're definitely gonna, you can get them started by hand. There we go. But to go the last mile, you're definitely gonna need the 11/30 seconds. I would recommend just screwing them in by hand. You can use your socket set, but I'd be afraid to over tighten it and break the reader. Stern really wasn't expecting that you were going to smash this up against a piece of plastic. Do want to make sure that that is secure. We're not going to plug the data cable in just yet, actually. There's a couple places that you can plug the data cable in. One of them is into an open spot on node board 8. I'm going to show you how to go straight to the board in the back box and go from that directly to your QR reader. So we can also use the zip ties that were included to follow basically the same bundle that goes to the coin door. So everything is nice and safe, completely independent from the back box. You might be tempted to snap it in here and then feed it up through. Do not do that. That's going to be a huge waste of time. I'll show you a much quicker way to get this done. All right, let's grab the keys. Go into the back box. All right, now, if I didn't have the topper, I could actually go directly from the center all the way down, fish through to the front. You might have to lift the play field to grab the cable from the bottom, but then you can pull it straight down here and plug it into your card reader. Good to go. Done. Do some zip ties and you're golden. However, because I already have something, in this particular case, the topper hooked in, I can't take the shortcut. We're gonna have to get a little bit fancy because we do have to go directly to the node board. While we're in here, we do still need to be in here because we need to take the data card and we need to, there's a data card reader right here that we need to put that data card in. Pop it forward, listen for the click. You don't want to click it twice. That's going to eject the card. You want to make sure the card is fully inserted. Something else we're going to want to install while we're in here is going to be your Wi-Fi adapter. You're not getting online without this. So there's going to be two USB ports right here in the almost the center of the board. You want to go ahead and I don't know if it matters. I'm going to put it in the left one. You want to be careful. It is possible to snap that off the board if you're too aggressive with it. There we go. And now we're actually going to have to lift the playfield. Don't forget to eject the balls. It's 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there are others in the turtle van. And there's 6, 7, 8. All accounted for. All right. We're going to lift this up and we're going to look for the node board that has an extra port open. And it is this one right here, all the way there, really conveniently close to the reader. That was indeed the one. You see what I mean though? This is a long stretch from here to there. So one of the things I want to make sure to do, I'm going to have to figure out how, you can see why I would have preferred that it was part of the, you can definitely see why I would have preferred that it was part of the back box. But that's okay. We can figure something out. So let's see. If I was to plug it in here, first thing I'm going to do is zip tie to this. I'm going to commit to that as well. So there we go. I'm leaving myself tons of slack inside the back box as I do this. There's a nice convenient zip tie station here. I'm not fully tightening that yet. There we go. Now I'll snap him in. And I'm gonna zip here, and I'm gonna zip here. There's basically a zip station here, a zip station here, and a zip station here, which I'll give you a close-up on in just a moment. So, plenty of slack down here in the bottom. There we go. There we go. Tighten those up, lock in those lyrics. And I'll snap that off. Careful with your wire snips. Make sure you know exactly where they're at before you do this. And always give yourself a little bit. Don't snap all the way up to the end. Give yourself about a ½ inch. Just gonna tuck this wire. I want to be careful because this wire is definitely, I'm going to tackle it right up here. That actually is a really good spot for it. So I'm going to show you my cable management up close. What have we done for cable management? So we're going from the reader. I zip tied to this cable here to make sure we don't get pinched in the door. I come up and I follow, I go into these cable holds. And that cable hold keeps it away from the tilt bob and all that. I leave the extra cable here. I just kind of tucked it behind the harness cable. Now we come up with plenty of slack. We come up, I zip tie into that convenient zip tie post right there. I zip tie again here, and then I bring it underneath the rail, zip tie one more time to there. And then ultimately plug into the open spot on the node board. All right, we're gonna slowly bring this down and just double check that we've got all the clearance that we need, that the cable's not gonna get caught on anything. All right, everything seems good so far. Lift on the back and go over the hump. Again, I still don't see any issues with the cable. There we go. Take our wire snips, be mindful of where they are, out to about 1 inch to ½ inch, and cut. Why do I do that? Well, mainly because I want to make sure I'm well aware and well away from any wiring. So we should be able to go ahead and close that, and we should be good to go. So put the balls back in the machine. I always like to wear a pinball shirt. There shouldn't be any oil on these, but they have oil from my hands. So I like to just make sure that is wiped off before I put them back in the game. Oil from your hands can get on the balls can then get dirty easier, and dirty balls can really tear up a pinball machine. You don't want to have dirty balls in your machine. Alright, there we go. We put the glass back on. Carefully. Lockdown bar back on. Notice how there's no issues whatsoever. That cable in and out. And we're ready to fire it up. Now, you may have to update your software if it's really, really behind. Insider Connected is a relatively recent feature released in late 2021, early 2022. So if you're still on the original software of your table, probably not going to have anything magical happen when you boot it up. You want to make sure to update first. All right. Updated node board runtime, and the update was successful. New micro SD card detected, and it is formatting. All right. We're going to go through guided setup, folks. Let's go ahead and set up our Wi-Fi. Through the magic of editing, we're all set. I cut out the part where I select my Wi-Fi and set my password and all that. But we are basically good to go. We are on Insider Connected. We're going to go ahead and do a save and exit. Close this boy up. And now, there we go. And let's fire it up.
Choose your channel. Donatello. Turtle Power Multi-Ball.
Well, folks, that is Insider Connected retrofit without damaging up your apron. I hope that you enjoyed this content. If you liked it, give it a like and a subscribe. Also, look out for, I'm going to be showing you how to do a external volume control retrofit for your Stern games on the next video. So take care till then.